We came here for two reasons. Chew some bubble gum and kick some ass. And we all out of bubble gum. Got it done, they counted us out. It's the Titans versus everybody, remember that.
McNair gives it to George, running right up the middle. Touchdown! Titans! There are no flags on the field! It's a miracle!
Safety, now you're one-on-one with it.
Shows why he's the man! In trouble. Sack!
Ladies and gentlemen, Titan Nation, welcome back to Mr. Titan. Today, I have a special guest. As you can tell, we have Tennessee Titans former tight end Delanie Walker. How you doing, bro?
I'm good. What's happening, man? Thanks for having me.
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate the time you spent to come on and stuff, but it's good to talk to you. I mean, we talked before and stuff plenty of times, but it's nice to have you on the show. It's kind of a big check mark in my book. I mean, you're one of the OG Titans that brought this franchise from the dead, man, and brought it to life. I mean, there's a couple other players, obviously, in that era of football, but you're one of them. So I want to, first off, thank you for, sticking with us, because there were some rough times, and we'll talk about them. We'll talk about them. But again, thank you so much for just being there, bro, from the very beginning and giving it your all, man.
Most definitely. I mean, that's my job, man. And, we all go out there and we want to win. So, man, I was just doing what I do best, is play football and trying to win for the city, man. And like you said, we'll get into it. But, that's what I was all about, was just trying to get out there and get that W. I didn't care how I had to do it. You feel me?
Now, coming from San Francisco, I mean, you played in the Super Bowl, man. I mean, again, you played, college in Missouri and stuff like that. Was that your first go-to? I know we talked about it, about your career and your passion. What was your passionate for?
What was my passion for playing football?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I grew up in Pomona, California, and I'm not gonna say the worst of neighborhoods, but it was pretty bad, single parent household. And my passion, man, football just was to change, see something different, be able to step outside of the box. You know what I mean? Growing up as a kid, I felt like I was trapped in a box. And I say this to today to all these kids in these communities that I go visit, like, don't ever feel like you're trapped in a box. If football is that way to express yourself and get out of that box, then do it. And that's what my passion was, to be able to explore it. Also, I wanted to be in the NFL, but I wanted to explore the world and meet different people. So my passion was to be as good as I can in this sport, to give me the opportunities to make a change and see difference. And I think it worked, because, I was able to play for a long time and see a lot of the world. So.
Definitely, man. And that's one thing, when you start off young, you don't really know what road you're going to take and stuff like that. And, I mean, it took you to Missouri. And I know we talked a little bit about it. We were having some fun about, exploring and getting out of your own element, right? You said you came, from a tough situation, tough, neighborhood. Now going to Missouri, how did that broaden your eyes?
It was a culture shock, coming from where I grew up at. It's predominantly black people. At least 98% is black, and then we have Latinos and Asians, and I mean, don't get me wrong, it was white people in the area, just not where I grew up at. So going to Missouri was a culture shock for me, because I went in my school, Central Missouri was predominantly white, so I would say it was probably 98% white, and if you was black, you probably played a sport. And it opened up my eyes, because I didn't I didn't see these other parts of the world and how other people do things like snowboarding, surfing, water skiing, like water sports and we dirt bike, but doing it in the mountains and mudding and stuff like that. It was just an eye opener. It made me realize that I was missing out on so much, just by being felt like I wanted to be in this box because I didn't know nothing other, and being able to see that and see how other people value life or value differences and how we all different. We all grow up in different situations, but can come together and be friends. You know what I mean? That was big, and it just opened up my eyes and made me be a better person, I would say.
Definitely. Now, when you played in Missouri, you weren't a tight end, right?
No, I played receiver all my life.
What was that? How was that transition? When did you start that transition? I mean, did you always want to just go in the NFL as a wide receiver, or how did that pan out?
Yeah, I wanted to be a receiver. It's funny you say that. So when I was at Central Missouri, I would consider a great coach. My receiver coach was Theron H, Coach H, and one time he came at me, was in a game, and I was just killing people at receiver. But he was like, "You big, and if you got a chance in the NFL, they may switch you to tight end." So I played tight end one game. I scored like a 78-yard touchdown right up the middle, and I never went back to tight end. I was like, I don't want to play tight. I don't care. But I did. I scored a touchdown, 78-yard touchdown, and he told me that was gonna happen when I got in the draft, that they may try to switch me to tight end. So when I got drafted to the 49ers, they drafted me as a receiver. But when I went in there, they pretty much was just like, look, so you better learn how to play tight end, and that's where we going right now with that situation. And I can remember I called my agent, like, they want me to play tight end, man. You probably going to start looking for another team. I'm going to get cut because I can't play tight end. I don't even know how to block like that. And, I mean, my agent he cool dude. He's still a cool dude. And he was like, bro, I ain't never seen nothing like that stop you. You a beast. Go out there and show him that you can play tight end. And after that phone call, the next day, man, I was in 46. I was wearing number 46. The next day, I was like, here we go. And ultimately, I got good at it. I had a guy in front of me that was a good teacher, Vernon Davis. And I just watched a lot what he did because he was already a tight end. And I just seen some of the stuff he did and took it and added my own little flair. And, yeah, there you have it.
How was the transition? Was it really difficult going from wide receiver to tight end, or was a couple changes or not that big of a change at all? I know that there's a little bit more blocking, and this depends on what team, but
I'll say it's way harder. It's way harder than receiver. Don't get me wrong, receivers are some of the best players on the field, but what we tight ends have to do in that aspect and blocking and knowing the run game and knowing the pass game and being able to do all the audibles, we got to know so much. So when I got into that role and they overloaded me, I was kind of confused, like, oh man, this is hard. What's a 4-3? What's a 3-4? What is that? I don't even, you know what I'm saying? So like it was tough, and I had a real hard-nosed coach named Pete Hayner. He just retired this year. Great guy, hell of a coach. Coached for a long time. So, he used to cuss me out to like a dog. And anybody that ever been coached by this dude would probably say the same thing. He would cuss you out like a dog. I mean, get in your face, headbutt you damn near, spit on you pretty much by him yelling at you. And then at the end of practice, he'd be like, let's go get a beer. You'd be like, bro, you just cussed me out this whole practice. But he was on me, man. He was on me. He one day he told me, he said, when I stop yelling at you, that's when you out of here. So every day he yelled at me, I realized that he thought I could be something good. And I just worked hard, man. I worked hard to be able to get on the field. And it was tough. It's hard, but as you start playing it, you start to learn how to cheat it, and that's just how it goes,
Does the more comfortable you get, does the game get slower? Because I know a lot of people are saying, like, just from college to NFL, the game is just like rapid speed. It's just like another type of flow. And then do you agree with that? Like as you get, into your own and understand your assignment, does the game slow down at all or no?
Of course, yeah. I would say like as you gotta remember, you come in as a rookie, you ancients. They gave you some money. They want to see you perform. So like you trying to learn everything. You're not really yourself yet, like how you was in college, how you was the man and you knew the game. It was slow motion to you. It almost speeds back up in the NFL until you realize that it's pretty much the same kind of football. It's just a little bit more pieces to the puzzle, but it's all the same. And once you start getting comfortable and knowing the game and knowing your offense or your defense, it kind of just falls in line. You know what I mean? It's just you do this every year. It's like if you practice hard, you know what I mean? The game shouldn't be hard at all to you.
Definitely. Now, when you were with the 49ers again, you guys eventually had the playoff run. You guys got into the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, didn't win. Walk me through that whole era right there, just getting into the playoffs and then, being in the Super Bowl and just your experience at the Super Bowl, man.
So like, I mean, the story was like, we didn't start off really well. We went through a few coaches, Mike Nolan, Mike Singletary, then Jim Harbaugh. We had Tom Sula. He was just like a little bit. I think he coached like one or two games, and then we hired Jim Harbaugh. And then that year, Jim Harbaugh came in. He was energized coach. So he came in and he was like, "This is what we about to do. We gonna burn the grass and we gonna find the snakes." And I'm like, "Gosh, that was crucial." You know what I'm saying? Because in his mind, my mind, and his mind, I felt like he was saying, "We got cats on here that ain't good players. We need to get rid of." So he started doing that, cutting cats one by one, bringing cats in. And that dynamic of that team switched that year, changed. Ultimately, we went to the NFC Championship game and lost to the Giants that year, but then came back that next year and we was just like, who's better than us? Nobody. That was kind of our slogan. We would say that, who's better than us? Nobody. And that was just how we felt in every game. And we just ran through everybody, got to the Super Bowl. And, the Super Bowl was just a weird game itself. The lights went out. We was getting blown out. But at that time with the 49ers, we always started off losing. We knew we would come back and win the game. So that just wasn't we didn't care about that because we knew it was going to come back. But then how the game ended with, the referees having a lot of play in that game, making a lot of calls and not making calls. It was just a weird game, and congrats to them. They beat us and was able to get that Super Bowl. So,
definitely. Now after that, become a free agent. The Tennessee Titans pick you up. Let's talk about that because again, you played your career after that was with the Titans again. 3-time Pro Bowler, amazing. Now, because we went through so many coaches. Who was the coach back when you got picked up by the Titans? Was it Mike? No, it's not.
Munchak.
Munchak, right? Mike Munchak. Oh my,
it was Munchak.
Boy. Woo! So you went through Ken Wesenhunt. You went. Oh man, okay. So Mike Mularkey. Okay, so you've gone through a who's who of quarterbacks and offensive coordinators, right? How let's talk about that. So when you first met Mike I keep saying Mike Mularkey, Mike Munchak, how was his style of coaching? How was the team at that time? And then we'll talk about, obviously, at the end of your career when you played with the Titans, how they were and the difference between those teams.
Your Mike Munchak is a legend in the game himself, just by what he did as an offensive lineman and played the game well and at a high energy. So I knew a lot about. I knew he was probably going to be that hard-nosed coach and really be into players, and be a player coach at the same time because he played and he knows what we need and how we feel someday. So when I first met him, he just seemed real cool. He seemed like the cool coach, and he wanted it done this way, and that's how most coaches are. And but he was also like a real cool like players coach too. I feel like he hung out more with the players, and I like that. I like that vibe.
And How was your first year, your first experience, with the Tennessee Titans that first season?
I mean, it wasn't good. I mean, we went like 3-13, I think. So it wasn't a good start out of the year. But in my mind, it was like, okay, you just added all the. I think we had just added like Bernard Parler, George. Damn, why can't I remember George's last name? That's not good. Well, we added, and we had we added a gang of players, and just in that. And just to bring all of us together, I didn't, you never think that you're going to be probably that good right off the jump. So I was like, okay, this is learning. We're going to get together and get back together. But a lot of things happened, I think, that off season. I think coach, they fired Wisenhunt. I mean, they fired Munchak, I think, at the end of that year. And then we had a lot of players that left and a lot of players came in. We had a big draft class that year. I think we got Taylor Lewan that year. And Marx Mariota. So I mean, you know, it was just like it was bad year. It was a quick year, 3-13.
Yeah,
you don't remember too much of them games. So it was just we lost Chris Johnson, a big time running back that was explosive. We lost him. It was and Jake Locker. I think it was crazy, man, how that year went that year.
So yeah, as much coaches that you went through, head coaches, you also went through quarterbacks as well. Now, let's just talk a little bit about the coaches before I go into the other topic. Now, for the coaching wise, okay, like you said, you had Mike Munchak, and then after that, Ken Wisenhunt. After Ken Wisenhunt, it was Mike Mularkey. After Mike Mularkey, it was Coach Rabel. All right. Now, out of those coaches, which one did you obviously gravitate more to and why?
Mike Mularkey. Definitely Mike Mularkey. He was my tight end coach. And then, he was my tight end coach. And I just knew, I knew what type of coach he was going to be because he coached me for some amount of years. And then when he became a head coach, he kind of relied on me to be, to turn the team around. And I think that's the kind of bond me and him had at that time. And I wanted that job. And I was happy that, he put that job on me because I felt like at that time the Titans was my team and I wanted to lead them to victory. So me and Mularkey, I felt like was really, really close. And him and Arthur, they was both in the room at the same time, tight end coaches. So I gravitated to him more.
I feel like most of the players did gravitate towards Mularkey more. It looked like the guys in the room wanted to win, not only because they loved football, but because they loved Mike Mularkey. I feel like that's how it kind of showed. It just showed like on the field. It showed when people were celebrating. You guys are hugging. It's different. I mean, Ken Wisenhunt, unfortunately, you just never saw that passion. Same thing with Mike Munchak. The players didn't have that. It was almost like a kind of vibe you got when you were watching on TV and stuff. And you can tell like the players wanted to play for, I mean, that goes for like Wesley Woodyard, Brian Arakpo, those guys, you can tell like they had that passion for, when you guys won and stuff with Mike Mularkey.
Well, he was a family first kind of guy. And that was like a big thing with him was, family first. And he considered the Titans his family, and any player that was on that team was considered family to him. And that's when, you've seen the passion after games, guys hugging and crying. I mean, because that's just how his philosophy of the game was just, we're going to be tough, physical, and relentless, but at the end of the day, we all about family. And I think that's why you've seen a lot of them guys, some of the big-name guys that was on that team embrace that because, they all had families and we're able to take them to games and have them in the locker room and this facility. I mean, that's big. You got to remember, you got to kind of want these players to play for you because that's at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. They got to want to play for you.
What is one thing that kind of stood out on Mike Mularkey's coaching that kind of, was different from the other coaches that coached you in your
Well, that's a hard question because like they all different. You can't compare coaches. They all have they like honestly everything is the same. They can't do anything different because in every program we follow the same steps.
Mhm.
It's just they all want to put their own spin on it. So like I can't say what he did different than Munchak. I can't say what he did different than Ken Wisenhunt or Vrabel. They all got a different way of coaching, which how they feel is the best way to interact with players. So it's just not even a comparison on how they all different. They just do their own coaching, you know.
Gotcha. Let's get the cat out of the bag. Okay, guys, go Kansas City wild card game. Guys win. Then you guys go to New England. You guys lose in New England. There's talks about Malarkey. If he loses the game in Kansas City, he was going to get fired, or just about just random talking, right?
Yeah.
What was going through the locker? What was going through, the players' minds? What was going through Mike Malarkey's mind? Well, you can't really obviously talk for Mike Malarkey, but just the whole nonsense of all that, if you can talk about it.
I mean, we heard, we didn't actually know if it was true. Like everybody else, we don't know what the owner told Mike. This was what reporters were speculating. So, but in our minds, it's like if we don't want to lose, so let's win this game, and if that helps Mike, then it goes hand in hand. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We went out there. It wasn't even if cats didn't like him, they would have just lost the game. No, we trying to win. We first time in the playoffs. We know we could beat Kansas City because we done beat them so many times. So we just like, let's go. I don't think it was in nobody's mind. If if we lose this game, Mike is up out of there, because at the end of the day, we won the game and Mike still was out of there. So like, I mean,
just I'm set in stone already.
Yeah. So I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. I don't know who wrote. We don't even know where that story came from. Most of the times we hear stuff, we don't even know where it come from, and we just try to answer as best as we can.
You think losing a coach like that can hurt a team a lot? I felt like the team itself it's kind of like a gut punch, because again, he's such a loving coach, and stuff like that. Not that Ken Wisenhunt wasn't, but when he got fired, I was okay with it. I was all right. I'm all right with it. But Mike Malarkey, I was like, damn, like it kind of sucked,
Yeah, I mean, because it hits the papers that Mike Malarkey coming back. Then like the next day, it was like, no, he's stepping down. So it was like, that's the gut punch, because we like, damn, what just happened? Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? And no one really knows what actually happened that day or that night or whenever it took place on what made Malarkey step down or them fire him or not give him the job. I don't even know what happened. That's the whole point. So, it was tough. You know what I mean? Like I said, I really bonded with Malarkey, and I feel like we had something special. So, it hurts, but this is a business. It's just like if we was at a liquor store or we was at a grocery store and we selling Sprite, and Sprite no longer wants to do business with us, we got to pull it off the shelf. We can't. It ain't the next soda gonna go in line. And hopefully it sells, and that's just how football is. It hurts. We hurt. We still try to, be friends, whatever, with the person that left. But at the end of the day, the Titans organization is not going to wait for us to move on. It's the next person, the next line,
Definitely. Yeah. Let's talk about this. Your relationship with Marcus Mariota. Everyone, it's weird. It's like Delanie Walker, and they talk about Marcus Mariota again.
Yeah.
I mean, it seemed like he was your guy. I mean, you were his security blanket. If there was no one to throw it to Delanie. He's got you. A lot of people believe that. How is your relationship, with Marcus Mariota? And then to this day, do you talk to him still? And you got a nice deal. You can come back.
Yeah, I mean, Marcus is my guy. I hate to say I made him look good. He kind of made me look good. I think it go hand in hand. Like, I think just we both made each other look good. And, you know, I mean, obviously I was kind of reliable during them years he was there. And quarterbacks, they look for reliability. They going to throw it to the reliability guys. They going to throw it to the dudes that's going to catch the ball and make the play. So at that point, when Marcus came in, he was a rookie. And, you know, he needed somebody he can rely on. And I think that fell on me. And we just had a connection. I think he knew. He even like some guys, if you ask him like that played on the offense, they'll probably be like, Delanie used to make up routes. He ran whatever he wanted, and they didn't really say nothing. I will not run. I didn't run whatever I wanted. I ran it in a style that they thought it looked different. Mm-hmm. So a lot of players would probably say, yeah, he just ran what he wanted, and Marcus knew where he was going to be at. We kind of had like, I don't even know. We kind of felt it, I guess. When I thought I was open, he threw it. And we always would be right. And I remember sometimes we would go in meetings and the coach would be like, how you know he was going to throw it right there? I'm like, I did it. He see what I see. You know what I mean? That's just how it went. But our friendship was big. Marcus was the quiet kind of guy. You know, so Marcus was quiet. He take the blame. And see, I was like his stepbrother. Like, you ain't about to pick on my little bro. Boom, boom, boom. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was me. And that's how I looked at Mark, because he would never say nothing. He just quiet. So I felt like I had to step in there and make these plays for my dude, because quarterbacks get blamed for losses. They probably didn't even do nothing wrong, but they get the blame for it. Mm-hmm. And I hated that about that situation, because Marcus was a great guy, and he tried his all, even when he was hurt, and he would go out there and play, and give it his all. And, you know, we don't – and to answer your question, if we still talk, I talk to Marcus, but not as much, obviously. He still played football. He's still on the grind. He never was that kind of talkative person at the first place. But anytime he in Tennessee, he'll hit me up and try to grab lunch or at wherever he's at. And if I'm here, I was just in Hawaii and I hit him, but he obviously wasn't there. We try to link up whenever we next to each other, because, you know what I mean, what we did with the Titans is going to be in the record book. So, I can't not talk to my dude, you know?
Mm-hmm, definitely. If Marcus Mariota called you right now and said, come on, let's go play, you going?
Yeah, I'm going to go play. I mean, it's going to take me a minute to get out of this driving body style, but you know what I mean? I'll go play, man. If him and Art be like, come on, man, come one more year, I'll go. I get out of retirement and come play.
So you're officially retired.
I'm officially retired. I mean, if whoever watching this or y'all see this, yeah, I am officially retired. I hung them cleats up, them jerseys hung up, them helmets is hung up, man. I'm done. I'm a official dragster racer now. I'm about to start drag race. Catch me there.
Yeah, I see it. I think you posted a video today on Instagram. It looked pretty.
Yeah, I was tracking though. We was at a track course.
Okay. All right. Look at you. And talking about that, let's kind of segue into that just a little bit. And then I know that your first passion wasn't football. It was what when you were little? It was cars.
It's always cars, man. Always been in the cars. All my dudes, all my boys, they all if you look at they all got the cars still. They don't even make as much money as me, but they still got Benzes, bro, and old school drag racing. And we always been in the cars. I feel like if I didn't play football, I would have been a mechanic, which that's what I'm going to school for now in mechanical technology, because, you know what I mean, it's all about what's next, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I got to move on to the next, you hear me?
No, definitely. Have you I think it was one of the questions on Twitter was they wanted to know if did you ever drive your dream car yet? And what is your dream car? It was a good question.
A Lincoln Continental, 65 Lincoln Continental. Okay. I've been in one. I've drove one. I can get one, but they want so much money for one of those, and I gotta find the right price. And I want to do it my way. Most of them is usually done up already. So my dream car is a Lincoln Continental drop top, 65. I mean, yeah. If y'all know anything about that, y'all know what I'm talking about.
What was your first car? My first car was a Dodge Plymouth 95, bro. It was terrible. It was horrible. It was red. It had no tints. I was like, I think I was a sophomore. They stopped making that model. And I remember I had like these dices. I thought I was a badass. I put the dices on the windshield. It was terrible, man. My grandfather bought it for me, and I remember that the horn would get stuck. So if I went over a speed bump too hard, the horn would get stuck, and it'd be like, "Durr," and then I had to go pop the hood and disconnect. It was embarrassing, bro. It was. So cool.
I kind of was in your same level. Well, the first car I had was a 1986 Honda Accord, doo-doo brown. Dude, it was brown, everything.
Oh.
The interior was that old, like, felt carpet brown.
I had the same one. It was terrible.
Terrible. It smelled like an old person that had been in there all their life. And no tint. I
had no tints. I thought I was a badass in school. I'd be like, I would, when you put your chair back, like you're leaning. Like, I thought I was a badass. Car was terrible.
I would dare put tint on there. People used to think that was the drive-by car. They'd be like, bro, why you always? Because it was a Honda. You could steal them easy. So I used to be like, this the only car my mama can afford. So I had that, and then I want to say my sophomore or middle of junior year, one of my homeboys, he went on a vacation for a little bit, we'll say, and his mom sold me his Camaro. He had a Camaro IROC 86 Camaro on for $300. So she's like, all you gotta do is go put it on his books, and I went and did that, and then they gave me the keys, and I drove that until I crashed.
Yeah, that's funny. My next car was a Honda Civic 97. It was a coupe, and I drove that till I totaled it too. Yeah. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Oh shit. But I mean, what are you driving now?
Well, right now, I'm driving. My daily is the GT63 AMG, at 63S AMG, and then I got a lot of cars.
I saw, man. I mean,
and then the other daily driver is a 2019 Dodge Ram, 3500 dually.
Okay. There we go.
Yeah.
I only got one, and it's a Malibu. That's I keep,
I mean, I ain't mad at you. I'm dropping down, man. All my cars, mostly of them are old school, so all my old schools I will always keep. But the foreign cars, like, I'm starting to sell them. I don't really drive them. I had them when I was playing, because that's the cars I drove to the stadium, was like the foreign cars. It just I felt like I was clean and I was gonna have a good game. So
definitely.
Now that I don't play football and I drive everywhere I go, pretty much, you don't want to put a lot of miles on them cars. So I think I'm gonna get rid of them, man. Just try to stick to probably 4 cars.
And was that your little thing you would do, is like you would pick a car to drive up to the stadium and you were feeling it? That was kind of almost like a pregame, like ritual, kind of like, I'm in this car right now chilling.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, had to clean his car in the parking lot. Yeah, of course. Clean his car, clean his dress. I'm about to be the cleanest person on the field. That's how all the athletes think the same way. I'm sure if they don't, they're in the wrong sport, because you guys play football, you gotta be a little cocky, just a little bit.
Definitely. Did you have a song coming in? There was a song that you kind of always vibe to, or no? It was kind of, you just had to play it. You kind of threw it in there.
I used to listen to that YG, everybody running. I listen to a lot of like TZ, YG. Like, I listen to real hood music, real LA hood music before. Because I feel like you gotta kind of be mad to play football. Like, you gotta go out there and just for no reason try to knock this other person's head off. Like, I gotta get into that.
Yeah, it just don't come in like, I'm just like, you strolling in.
Yeah, let's just go out here and try to hurt these players. I gotta get myself hyped up and get a little mad just to go out there and play angry.
Gotcha, man. I mean, like I said, man, you're amazing on the field, bro. You like you said, you left it all, and I think being passionate about it, even after the game. I mean, one of the ones I think what was it the Browns game? They say you got to crown. They still got to play for. I mean, it's classic. It's classic.
Yeah, they hate me. I get anytime I'm around some Cleveland, they be like, "You do, oh boo, you try." I'll be like, "Hey, it's just a game, bro. Yeah. It's just a game."
Oh man, talking about that Cleveland game, I remember that it was like I remember everyone was talking about how good they were, all the weapons they got, this and that, and it's kind of like the Titan. I think you said in one of the post games is like the Titans versus the world. It really is. It kind of a lot of people overlook the Titans, right? It's kind of like it's not the greatest football destination in a lot of people's eyes. We talked a little bit about the Pro Bowl and stuff, and how you were saying like they kind of overlook players just because. And let's talk about that, because that was another thing that let's get this out of the way, especially about the whole situation about playing in Tennessee and trying to get in the Hall of Fame. I know a lot of people were upset with you. A lot of Titan fans were upset with you. And if can we explain that situation so you can clear it out? Because again, a lot of people have misinformation. A lot of people.
Yeah, I didn't even say me as a Hall of Famer. I said Eddie George as a Hall of Famer should be a Hall of Famer. But when I said that, I guess people was like, oh, he's saying himself. No, I said I should be in the talk as one of the best tight ends that played in my era, but I'm not. That's what I said, because it's when you play in a small market, no one gets to see your games. When you're in a small market, you get blacked out. So that means your games is only being played in your city, your area. It won't be played in Dallas. It won't be played in New Orleans. It won't be played in Arizona. It won't be played in California.
Okay.
And I never said I was going to the Hall of Fame. Do I think I'm going to the Hall of Fame? Probably not. I played under Vernon Davis for 5 years, 6 years, so my numbers wouldn't be good. If I was starting there, I definitely would say I should be in the Hall of Fame. But no, I don't think I should be. I use Eddie George as an example, and people took it as I was taking shots at the Titan organization, which I never said anything. I said if the fans would vote more, then probably more people would be in the playoffs as well. Mm-hmm. And, but everybody everybody takes what they want to hear or didn't hear or what somebody told them and just run with it. And they all have their opinion, just like I have my opinion. And, I couldn't get mad. Like people was telling me I suck, this, that, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm trash. Okay, I get it. Like, but I can't get mad. That's their opinion. You know exactly. What I mean? Everybody got a opinion. They like assholes. We can't do nothing about it.
Can't do nothing about it. I mean, everyone got one.
No, so I just I said that, and I think people took it as I was saying I was a Hall of Famer, but I don't think I am. I do think Eddie George is a Hall of Famer, and if they don't think that, then dang, that's crazy.
You said, I think you said to yourself, like when we were talking before about just look at, Jeffrey Simmons, getting the second selection of the Pro Bowl. Yeah, exactly. That kind of shows you just like that. Like I think everyone that got picked for the Pro Bowl for the Titans got second selection, except
everybody, except Kevin. And obviously Kevin is a beast, and he's established himself in his league. So if you can't overlook Kevin Byard and what he's done in his league. So, but then you got a young guys on our teams that's balling, refusely just having a game of having a career, a year, having that year, and then get alternate. Like, I'm biased. I'm biased because I'm a Titans fan, so I'm biased maybe, and that's why they probably thought I was taking shots at them. But I couldn't take shots at somebody when all I do is watch the Titans and cheer for the Titans. You feel me?
Have you gone back to a Titans game yet, or no?
No, I'm the guy that watches the game and be coaching. I can't be at the game because I don't know who I'm gonna be sitting next to who messes up. because I'm like, he just messed up, man. Get him out the game. Like, I'm that dude. So I can't. If I go to the game, I gotta be in the box away from people's family. Because if a dude mess up, just like I was on the field, I'm be like, get him out, coach. He killing us. That's me. So I would definitely go to a game sooner or later. But right now, I just like watching it at the house and coaching from the house, and you know what I'm saying, watch Derek do his thing, talk crap. You know what I mean?
What was there anyone that you liked, like playing against, like a certain team or a certain player that kind of maybe like elevated you, or maybe a team that you couldn't stand that you wanted to play? If you can say the Colts, I understand, but just any teams or any players that come to mind?
Nah, you know what? I think I go. No, you got to remember, I was kind of older when I started really blowing out. I was already in my 7th year. So when dudes was calling me OG, all OG. So like I never really had problems with players like cussing at me, going crazy at me, like being me. They all would help me. OG, you short but you fast. Oh, you strong. Like, you know, they would. It was never nothing serious, and any player would tell you, like, oh, the Delanie talk, I never really talked. Like, I smiled a lot. They would be like, say something, I'd smile at them, like, you know what I mean? They always like, why you always smiling? Because why I'm going to be mad? I'm not going to waste my energy to yell at you. We not going to fight. We not going to do anything but play this football game, so.
All right. So I have a couple questions before we let you go. Just – obviously, I do kind of like a poll, ask people, especially from Titans Twitter. It's very active about questions they have of you. I have Chad Davis. He wants to know about the pass he caught versus the Colts in triple coverage, which, again, I don't even know how you made that catch. If you look at the replay and stuff, it looked crazy. It was a bunch of Colts around you. Was that?
I didn't even see the ball.
No,
I didn't even. If you look, my hand, it was literally like this. I caught the ball like that, like face down. Marcus. I knew I had to get open on that play though. That play was wrong. So we thought they was gonna be in a certain defense, and they came out in that too high defense, and I'm like, oh, this play ain't gonna work. I just literally thought that, but I'm like, he probably gonna throw it, so let me run as hard as I possibly can. And I actually got on top of the safety, which I couldn't believe. I beat him, and I think the play fake made him stop just a little bit, and I was able to run past him. And Marcus threw the ball, and you got to remember, it's a dome. So when he threw it, when I look back, all I seen was lights.
Oh.
But I seen a spot, and then, you know, if you play football, coaches always tell you, catch the spot. So I seen the spot in the light, and I just threw my hands up and landed.
It was like the Sandlot. Like the
Sandlot.
Just put your
catch the spot.
Yeah, just put your glove up. Wow.
I just put my hands up, and it landed in there like a loaf of bread.
Wow. Nice. Keys wants to know, would he come play in Tennessee again?
Of course. I mean, what they've done, Vrabel has done with the organization and Miss Adams and it's just all of them, man. They just and J-Rob. I mean, of course, man. The facility is different. The atmosphere is grown. I love what I'm seeing right now.
Definitely. We have Aiden wants to know, what was your favorite game to play in as a Titan? Do you have like any favorite memory as a Titan, a certain game?
It would either be like I don't even know if they got a name for it, but we played in Kansas City. It was like negative like 2-7 or something like that, and it was the field goal kick.
Oh, the one with suck up on the.
Yeah, that was probably one of the greatest atmospheres, other than playing in the Super Bowl, obviously. But because if you play in Kansas City, you know they fans go nuts, and they was whooping our butt, and we came back and they stayed to the fourth quarter. I mean, you couldn't see the stands; all you seen was red the whole game, and you don't usually see that in football. The whole fans stay into the whole game and scream and yell. and then they come away with the W and watching them like cry and fight each other. Man, that's the best game ever. You know what I'm saying?
All right. So the last question we have is my buddy Bryce Pratt wants to know what was his favorite catch of the game against the Chiefs. I'm assuming it's the wild card game, or just that.
The one with the kick, or the
the one that Marcus Mariota threw it to himself and he caught it. All that going on.
What was my favorite catch, or what was the best catch of the game?
We'll go with both. How about that? We'll go with
my favorite catch. I don't even know if I really even balled out that game. I think I had like little catches. You know what I'm saying? I think I only had like 50 yards. Like, they was really trying to stuff me in that game. They was not trying to let me win. Derrick Henry was actually, and Marcus was probably the MVPs of that game. So my catch, I really can't even remember, because I don't think I really did anything spectacular that game. I may have made a few like 10-yard catches, but I don't remember. But the Marcus catch, throwback to himself catch, was probably going to go down in the history. We're going to probably see that on top NFL plays from years to come. And then, so that was it. But like I said, Derrick Henry was probably the MVP of that game, and Marcus.
What was your as Titan, what was your favorite catch? I know there was one, or a touchdown play. I mean, and there was one that you like, I think you caught. It was against the Patriots, and you like stiff arm one dude. I mean, you couldn't go down. Like you took it to the house.
That was one of my top 5 plays. That Patriots game was crazy. I just remember coach coming to me like, "You need to make a play." I was like, okay. And that happened. But I would have to say it was probably Jake Locker was the quarterback at this time. We was playing Dallas Cowboys, and I ran a 7 route, caught it, got hit, but didn't fall. I actually I had a hairline fracture in my ribs, cracked one of my ribs on that play, and still took it to the house for like 80-some yards. And I outran the whole team. That's when I still had juice. So I had to say that. That's when your boy was still fast.
Definitely, man. Well, like I said, you gave it all. You gave it your all every time you were on the field. And again, I think your passion and stuff is what kind of really, really drove the Titan fans to love you even more. And there was a couple people, let me see if I can find it, that even said like they don't even have a question, but they just wanted to say like thank you for all the hard work and stuff. Because again, you did put the hard work. My friend the Power Hour put no question, but would love to thank him for the hard work he put in over years. He gave it all to the community. Hope we can get an 82 appreciation day. We have Margarita Lopez, no questions, but let him know that this fan appreciates everything he brought to the field on game days. Much love on his journey of life. Again, it just, people respect the fact that you went from the dark ages, man, of Tennessee Titans football, bro. And again, brought him up. Like I said, there were a couple players that went through those dark times, and you love to see them be successful. I mean, like Jarrell Casey, seeing him play in the playoffs and getting a win, those fans go crazy because, you guys have been through it all. We've been through it all as fans, and just want to see you be successful and enjoy, your football career. So, like I said, you guys built what we have now. The team we have now, like you guys cemented that way for Derrick Henry, Ryan Tannehill, all those players now that are having success. I mean, obviously J-Rob and stuff like that, but you guys were the mold. And
well, I mean, that's what I mean. If you look at any from history, you can go back. Wycheck, he molded that for me. It's just like that's what happens. You kind of pay a different area, and then now they get to explore that area, but they're gonna pave the way for the next generation, by being great right now. But football is a up and down game. You know what I mean? You got to take advantage of when you being great. because that drop always comes, you know what I mean, after a few years. And, so I look forward to seeing all these guys that they bringing on the team this year. I'm excited to watch it and for them to get back on track and get to the Super Bowl next year.
Definitely. Do you still get that itch? Do you feel like damn, like I still want to go play? Because again, you got injured, and towards the end of your career. I mean, the Dolphins game, and then we thought you were going to come back. We thought you were going to come back. It was like day to day, week to week, and then eventually it just you didn't play.
Yeah. I wanted to play, but man, the injury I had, and I think just my age, and I remember him telling me like, man, you being a little older, you can play, but it may hurt. And I remember him saying that, and then I'm like, bro, ain't nothing gonna happen to me, So, and I go out there that next year, and I recover as fast as I can, and I'm there for training camp and practicing and stuff, and I feel good. I'm like, God, this doctor did a good job, but I think, just in training camp, you're not being hit, you're not being dragged on, and as the season went, I think I played only 7 games, and it was just like I couldn't do it. I couldn't walk, I couldn't run. It hurt to be able to watch my team play and me not be a factor in the game, which that ain't happened in a long time. So it was tough, man. If I could play, trust me, I would have played, but my ankle still ain't the same. I can jog all day, and then in 2 days I could barely walk. So I just don't think that it was gonna ever be capable of playing a full season, to be honest.
Gotcha. Well, again, now you have this your second career, right? Your other start in life. I mean, you love what you're doing. You can tell you're passionate about it. I see it, on your posts and stuff like that. Even when you talk about it, you seem a little bit more excited about talking about cars and football, which is good. It ain't nothing wrong with that. But hopefully, just wish you the best in your next career and stuff like that. And like I said, I enjoy talking to you. I mean, you it's a really cool thing to just sit down and talk to you and just kind of pick your brain and learn some new stuff, man. But I just want to say thank you for leaving it all on the line. And like I said, Titan Nation loves you. Don't be a stranger. We all love you. I mean,
oh no, I love Titan Nation, man. Trust me, like I said, like some people don't say crazy stuff, but most of the true faithfuls out there, man, they mess with me. I know you can't internet like hassle is funny. You don't know who you talking to. It could be a Chicago Bears fan playing as their Titan fan.
Right.
Like, I don't take that stuff serious, bro. It's the internet. What's real nowadays on the internet, So every fan I ever come across in public, man, always show me love. They know if they know the content of what I was saying. There wasn't to take a shot at none of the Titan fans. It was just saying we're in a small market, and when you're in a small market, sometimes that hurts the players.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said, man, we still hopefully they watch this video, and the ones that are maybe mad still, I don't know. I mean, they should really reconsider it, because I mean they should be mad. That's been said a long time ago. But again, one of my favorite, probably one of the best tight ends to play for the Tennessee Titans, Delanie Walker. So thank you so much, brother, for joining me and talking, man. I appreciate it.
Most definitely. Thanks for having me, my guy.
Tighten up.